David, it's easy to be critical, but that's poor football. Now, Dietrich is one-on-one with Donovan. He allowed Lindsay took that long Murphy got back there, and they're going to pay the penalty. The mark's been paid to Hodgman. Keith Baker's prepared to have a go. He came down with a pretty rough and tough reputation from Darwin, and I'd say he's pretty keen to get involved in something here.
Well, they haven't got time for fights, the Eagles. They need to play football if they want to win. 15 points to margin. Kim Hodgman shows the crowd and the West Torrens players the ball. He's won himself a 15-metre penalty and now steadies for the Bays. Kick is long. Grandstand side. Western took front position, couldn't mark it. Eichner's kick was smothered. Gives McTavish an opportunity to keep the ball inside the line. He's done so. Forward looking for Butterick. He snares the ball but can't control it. Eichner pushes Butterick across the line. It's out of play deep in the left half forward flank for the Bays.
Well, David McTavish is the player we're talking about. He's the loose man of defence. In fact, Kernahan's formed a line, so too is Maynard. So they're building a wall across this centre line to try and keep the ball forward for their side as a free kick's been picked out and will go the way of Western. And let's see what the Eagles can do to penetrate this line of defence, this wall that the Tiger side has formed. Western opts for the centre of the ground, looking for Chris Lindsay. Thumped away from him. Schwarz with the ball, fed it out towards Harper. He's lost his footing. Guy took it out to Christensen. They managed to run around this wall, and it comes out towards Morford. The two Sixers in battle once again. Morford keeps the ball in play. He's tackled. Christensen finally gets there to lend support. Murphy wins out with a clearing kick in the direction of Maynard. Maynard, quick feed, back towards McTavish. He kicks across the ground looking for Winton, picks it up on the first grab. The Bays have a chance here. Winton's got all the time in the world. Has time to steady, drives in long, the kick looks good. In fact, it's a beauty. The Tigers get a steadying goal, and it's a more than handy goal. They move on to 16-12, 108. The Eagles now starting to struggle on 13-9, 87.
That's Jeff Winton's first goal, and that's been the steadier for the Bays. The man playing across the defensive line was McTavish. He tipped the ball out to Winton, and Hodgson didn't bother to chase Winton. Was left with the running players of the Eagles to try and cut him off. They couldn't do so. He burst his way through half forward and shot a great goal.
Great running football, the ball. Lindsay tapped it back towards his captain, Bruce Lindsay. His handball went to Christensen. He fumbled, had another fumble. Oh, they paid dearly for that. It was a good handball. Damien Christensen will not be pleased with himself. Fumbled an easy take.
21 points now, the margin. The Eagles may have blown it. That goal could just be the sealer. As forward go the Bays again. Hodgman overran the ball. Jumping on top of it was Enright, and Geyer comes in to lend support. Umpire Mick Abbott will have another bounce.
Well, David, obviously after the rain, the turf is fairly loose, and I'd say most of those players are wearing moulded sole boots, and that's why they're all slipping over.
Correct. Carey with the tap down to ground. Maynard, the quick kick forward. Woodlands leads in the race to the ball. Maynard's followed up. Now gathers the ball in. Tackled strongly by Pisani. Holding the ball. Must be. The Eagles are keen to play on. That's exactly what Pisani's done. Through half forward he goes looking for Morford. It's well wide of him, however, and out of play. The two number sixes have run each other across the line. 108 plays 87. We've played just on 20 minutes of the final quarter. It's developed into a great game of football. The Eagles have had their opportunities.
The Tigers with a 21-point lead as Carey gets a short kick away. Back there is Guy. It's taken by Christensen, trying to weave his way through the pack. Marshall back there. Now it comes on to McDermott. He gets a clearing kick out towards Maynard. Has a fumble. Time to recover. Lindsay applies the pressure. Maynard centres the ball back there. Butterick couldn't take it. Robson's there. Clearing kick around his body. Now Enright's all by himself. Chips the ball out wide and finds Foot. Now Foot's got Christensen loose. Chips short towards that player. Let's see if the Eagles can set something up. Christensen decides to drive long looking for Dietrich. He couldn't take the ball. Back there is Morford. So too is Murphy, and he's tripped. Oh, he might be careful. He might lose that one. In fact, he's won himself 15 metres.
Murphy, the spiralling torpedo. It was a wobbly one off the boot. Carey tried to thump it forward. Dermott tackled Foot. We're not in possession. Play on called the umpire. Enright paddles it out to Geyer. He got a quick kick away. Goodness knows how. Carey. Cheers of the Bay fans. Forward. Eichner up. He missed that mark. Now Butterick. Tackled high. Holding the ball. He ducked his head, said umpire by Mick Abbott. You saw it. That's the way it was called. Lee Robson with the free kick. Forward. West Torrens still have time to get up in this one if they're good enough. Now Hodgman into the attacking zone. He goes with a handball to Cruz. Weston's done a good job on Cruz today, but Cruz has got free in the last 5 or 10 minutes. High West. The mark. Ross Gibbs tried to claim it, but I think it was West's mark. Jim West has only been on the ground about 15 minutes. 25 metres out, directly in front. Fresh legs, clear mind. Straight kick, right through the middle. That's his first. The Bays certainly have this game sewn up. 17 goals, 12, 114. Lead West Torrens, 13-9, 87.
Well, the big man power of this Glenelg side was lacking last week. But certainly hasn't been today. There's been some fine aerial work late in this game by Seabohm, and that was a good mark by West. The height advantage over his opponent in Harper. He marked from about 15 metres out and banked through a goal that could just about seal the fate for this Eagles side.
The Bays have steadied. West Torrens were only 1 point down at about the 7-minute mark, but the Bays certainly have this game sewn up. Hodgson, he hasn't played badly at half-forward, Hodgson. Grenville back to McDermott. Again, McDermott's been a star. Through half-forward he goes. Good mark, Woodlands. Used his body well, bodied Pisani out. And at the true centre half-forward position, Craig Woodlands has the mark. Short he goes, drifting down into the forward line as Gibbs, as he did last week. Kick 4 in the final term. And this one is not beyond him. Plenty of confidence from Ross Gibbs. He gave it a good ride, put it up high. Robson at the front of the pack, dumped it down. Eichner stole the ball out of defence. Goes long. Nobody home for the Bays as McTavish is up and he's marked only just. Off to Kernahan, not a good handball, put him under pressure. Swartz back to Hodgson. McTavish, plenty of desperation now. Kernahan comes out with the ball, drives forward. Seabohm mark. Behind play, McTavish is down. Looks like he could be hurt.
In fact, that mark won't be paid, David, because Michael Abbott had called that ball touched off the boot. So Laurie changed his decision, and that was correct.
Well, I'm glad you saw that, Kim. I certainly hadn't. So the ball goes to ground. Seabohm with the tap. Hodgman short. That man again, Butterick. He has 6. His confidence would be sky high, and the 7th is not beyond him. 35 metres out, so the distance won't be a problem. He has got a very tight angle, as you can see, hugging the boundary line. It's fading across the goals, however, it's going to the far pocket. Ross Gibbs almost took the mark, but unfortunately the ball has gone out of play and a throw-in will take place. We're just into time on. 114 plays 87. The Bays have a very handy lead.
Well, it's been a great second half of football, and full credit to the Bays. They were threatened. They led only by a point at the 5-minute mark of this last quarter, but there's the man again, Budrick, Craig Budrick. Has kicked 6 goals. Now has an opportunity to kick his 7th. It's only about 35 metres out. Starts it off to the left. It comes back. That's his 7th. It's been a fine effort by Craig Budrick. He is more than a handy player. And I think it's safe to say, David, that he was the man that got Glenelg off to a good start. He kicked the first 2 goals for them in the first quarter, and he hasn't let up all day.
No, he hasn't, Kim. He now has 7 for the game, 2 this term. They've been sealers, 3 in the third. Certainly dynamic, and he could easily have kicked another one, which he missed from point-blank range early in the first term. And he's been the difference between the two sides. The Bays now enjoy a 33-point lead.
26-minute mark of this final quarter. And it's West into the ruck. Carey having a rest. Taken by Hodgman. Over to McDermott. Weaves his way through the play with a wobbly kick forward. This time it's Harper front position, and he takes a fine mark. Plays on quickly to Christensen. Lindsay's got a paddock. He's out there all by himself. Weston's running down the centre of the ground. Lindsay has a bounce to steady. Now drives in long. Taylor back there. Front position. Recovered quickly. Lost possession. In there is Morford. Desperate work by the Glenelg defence. So at the 26.5-minute mark of this final quarter, umpire Laurie Argent will bounce about 40 metres from the Torrens goal.
Chris Lindsay got the tap down for the Eagles. Potea was who stole the ball. Winton. I think he thought he was tackled by himself. Winton put himself under pressure. Off to Donovan, down from full back. Donovan's had the job of minding Dietrich all day. Mark there to Butterick. It's been start. Certainly his best game for the Bays. I was about to say that Grenville Dietrich has only 3 goals, 1. So Donovan, you'd say, has done a good job. Forward they go yet again. Now it's Maynard taking a strong overhead mark. The Bays are doing as they like late in this final term. Maynard just takes a steadier, chip short. On the lead, Ross Gibbs. Damien Christensen falls in behind him. Ross Gibbs, big smile on his face, will line up for his first goal for the day. Waste no time, Ross Gibbs. He's got consummate... I was going to say he's got consummate confidence in his ability, but a little bit too much on that occasion. He drifted that across line and threw for one behind.
27 minutes gone, and it's the Bays by 34 points as Harper kicks that ball in short, and it finds Bob Enright. Enright over the top towards Christensen. Christensen tried to swing that back centre field. There's no one home for the Eagles. Hodgman's there. He dropped that one. Guy took it well. In fact, it's been adjudicated holding the ball, and well, Argent was only a few metres away. I would have thought that was play on. But Laurie's the boss, so the free kick will go the way of Kim Hodgman. Hodgman plays out wide and finds Marshall. So the Bays just playing out time now. They're trying to keep possession. It drives in long. Up high was Gibbs trying to take a few speckies late in this game. The tap on was brilliant from Woodlands. Over to Kernahan. Here's a running shot at goal, but it's offline. The Tigers move along to 18 goals, 14, 122. The Eagles on 13-9, 87.
35 points the margin to the Bays. Schwartz brings the ball back into play for the Eagles. Chris Lindsay mark. He's done that well today. His marking has been a feature of his game. Geyer through centre. Taylor. He's not good overhead, Taylor. Morford. Quick kick under pressure. Now Taylor. He didn't want that one. Winton certainly did. On to the left foot he goes. Wide to Cruz. Cruz certainly just coming into the game now that the Bays are steamrolling home. Maynard quickly out for Tavish. The running player was Cruz. Tackled strongly by Harper. Christensen deep in defence. Off to Weston. Tried to do it a little bit too cleverly. Enright to Weston. On to Potea. The Eagle players are still running this game out, but they certainly have no chance of winning. Baker has the mark at centre half forward. He tries to move it on quickly to Taylor. He might have brought Taylor undone. Taylor's good enough to get out of that, though. He's got a radar when players are around him. Now Morford lines up the goals. No pressure on Morford. Snaps truly right through the middle. That's got Morford second. One in the third, one in the final term. 14 goals, 9 the Eagles. It's not going to matter. 18 goals, 14 the Bays.
Well, the Eagles have shown that they don't lie down. They fight the games right out to the end as we see McTavish come off after having a fine last quarter, and Jig Whitten comes back onto the ground. They certainly are an improved side, the Eagles, but unfortunately they just cannot win a game of football.
Yes, maybe the Eagles just lack a little bit of belief in themselves. They got to within 1 point, and then they threw it away, and it was mainly due to that man, Bruce Lindsay. Got back in the game. The siren sounds to end this historic game at the Bay Oval. Glenelg, 18 goals, 14, 122. Have defeated Torrens, 14 goals, 993 in Peter Carey's 400th club game as the crowds and the West Torrens players stream to greet him. Congratulate that fine champion. Bruce Lindsay just shaking his hand. Now the fans and players cheer Super Carey off the ground. It's an emotional moment for him. The Bays have won. He must have been great even before the start of the game. And there the fans show their appreciation for this great man. They're cheering him off the ground. And could we possibly hope that maybe Peter Carey might just play on and possibly beat Russell Levert's Australian record of senior games? He'd need to play another season. Let's hope the big fellow can.
Yes, it's certainly been a magnificent effort. Full credit to Peter Carey. The Tigers deserve to win today, and I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that his players had so much admiration and respect for him, and that's a fitting result here today at the Bay Oval.